Next question. So one of my subscribers, and she's a newer subscriber, Mary Patton, had asked about kind of our story, our family life, had mentioned Matt Carricker and how he's very inclusive of all that he does, and I agree with you on that. So when I started my blog on WordPress, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago, my wife and I agreed that at that point I wasn't even going to put pictures of the kids' faces on the blog. We just weren't comfortable with sharing, you know, young kids. And I know that Casey Neistat has kind of said the same thing. Like, for a while there, he wasn't even showing his daughter's face. But as we went along, I wanted to include the family more in the blog. So we talked and considered it, and she was okay with, or we were okay, because it was our decision, with putting their faces in pictures, but we decided we were not going to use their names. And that is one thing that has continued over into the vlog. So we have young children, just like Matt does, and I have talked to a lot of different YouTubers about their choice either to include their children's name or not. In fact, I talked to Wrangler Star about it, because that was one of the things that, you know, at the time I was just doing my blog and I wanted to know how they made the decision to include Jack's name. And if I remember correctly, and I'm pretty positive I do, they had mentioned that if they had it to do over again, they probably would not use their names. Cody had never, I don't think, thought that YouTube would be a career for him. So the reason that his channel is called Wrangler Star is because he had a like a salvage yard and had a lot to do with parts for Wranglers, Jeep Wranglers, and he could talk people through how to, you know, do things to repair things, but had realized that a video is easier and they can do it once and then anybody can watch it. So he started the channel and then started doing other things that, you know, they included in their life. And I think he said when he got his first check, he was like, yeah, you can try to check it, or try to cash it, sweetheart, but there's no way it's gonna, you know, cash. This is not real. But at that point, he had already used his name and he had already used Jack's name before they ever thought that the channel would become anything. So, you know, kind of once you let the cat out of the bag, you really can't put it back in, which is why they have not used Mrs. Wrangler Star's name. Where I talked to like Daniel Arms from Arms Family Homestead, and in their situation, they live in a very small community, and they kind of, everybody knows everyone. If there's somebody not from the community, everybody kind of knows that there's somebody there. He's a police officer, so I really did want to I wanted to get his opinion on the, you know, the deal. And Daniel also is in a TV show for, I think it's Final Descent Outdoors. So he was kind of out there anyway. That's why they've decided to include their, you know, their names. I talked to Michael Pratt about it, and you know, they include names, but they're very specific about what they share and what they don't. So the reason is I don't want some stranger to be able to come up to my 3-year-old son or my 5-year-old daughter and say, hey, Susie, or whatever the name would be, I'm a friend of your dad's. I know he's got a YouTube channel and, you know, does this, and your, you know, dog's name is this, so come with me. That's really what it comes down to, is security. And maybe we're being overly cautious, but that's our prerogative right now, and that's what we're going to do. Maybe as they get older, you know, once they hit a certain age, we would consider including names, because honestly, it would be a lot easier to, you know, be able to say Billy is, you know, doing this, instead of saying Homestead Boy 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. But for now, that's why we're doing it. I do need to do a better job of including the family. The kids love being in the videos, but a lot of times I'm out doing a chore or something and they're not there with me. In the summer, they will be with me all the time outside doing stuff, so you will see them a lot more in the summer. When I'm outside doing chores in the winter, especially as cold as it's been several times, it's, you know, they don't get bundled up and come out just to do a couple minute chore. So that's why we don't include names, but I can definitely do a better job of including the family. And my wife is in the medical field, so she has no interest in being on the videos in the first place, but then being in the medical field, she's not interested also in kind of combining that or having her whereabouts and whatever known. So that's why. So subscriber Chad H asked me if I was going to do a spoof on Justin Rhodes, and I think there's probably a good possibility that I will do that. I have watched Justin Rhodes for quite a while. I've learned a lot from him about storytelling on YouTube and not just making videos but trying to tell a story. I fail miserably at that most of the time, but at least it's in the back of my mind. And Justin seems like such a great guy. I really wanted to go to his meetup when he was in Michigan. He went to Part-Time Permies, and I met them at the Homestead Hootenanny last summer. I would have loved to have gone, but we were busy that weekend, so we weren't able to make it. So I'd love to meet them sometime. That would be awesome. And maybe if I did a spoof on him, we can work something like that out. So I'll think about it. I've got to find some time to make some more spoofs. So the Larson family homestead asked about how we juggle kids' schedules and a milking schedule. At our last lactation, we were getting like maybe a gallon and a half at each milking, so it wasn't that big a deal. It didn't take that long, and I have a really good buddy who helps me out with milking, so that helps. Like if we were going to be someplace, he could help milking. This time around, it got a lot harder. I was planning on having a calf to take care of some of the milkings, but since the calf died at birth, it didn't work out. So I actually just transitioned to a once-a-day milking. So now I only milk in the morning, and the process for doing that is, so I was milking at 9 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock at night, and then I would milk at 9 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock, and I did that for 3 or 4 days, and then I would milk at 9 in the morning and 3 o'clock, and then 9 and noon, and then I transitioned to just 9. And that makes all the difference in the world. So we're just milking once a day, because all of our conflicts were in the evening, like you said, with kids' schedules, with her dance and her basketball and his swimming and his basketball and all of the other activities that we do. That was the biggest problem. So now that we're just milking in the morning, or I'm just milking in the morning, it makes all the difference in the world. So if that's something that works out for your homestead, your family, by all means, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you almost need to have somebody who can help you so that when you can't make it there for milking, you've got help. I mean, a cow can, be flexible to a certain point, but you don't want to, have them be used to milking at 9 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock at night and then not make it there until, midnight or something if you don't have to. If you have to, then you're just going to have to milk a little bit more at night, and she'll probably be a little bit full and maybe a little bit swollen, but that's what I did. Once a day so far is going awesome. I really am happy that we've done it. So thanks for the question. Matt Moorhead asked how many wives I have. I've just got one, Matt. I only want one. I only ever want one. She's wonderful. Not sure why she keeps me around, but she does. So I'm going to try to keep fleecing her as long as I can. I only have one wife. That 1870s homestead asked what I love most about the YouTube community. And I think the thing that I love most about the YouTube community, the homesteading YouTube community, is they're so willing to share their knowledge. So I know a little bit about a lot of things. I don't know a lot about much of anything. So when I have a question about doing something, most of the time there's someone who can say, hey, I did it this way, it worked out well for me, or hey, I tried this and it didn't work. So I just love that willingness to share knowledge and experiences. And most of the time people are just great. They'll comment and say, hey, hope you have a great day, thanks for the video. And that is just a really nice thing. So that's the thing that I probably love most about the Homestead YouTube, or YouTube Homestead community, however you want to say it. So that's probably what I love the most.